30 years. I was a very light drinker in my 20s. In my 30s, I was a social drinker, and somewhere in my early 40s, I developed alcohol use disorder, which is abbreviated AUD. We don't really use the term alcoholism that much anymore because it's too narrow of a term. AUD covers everything from the occasional binge drinker to the chronic daily drinker. I started to realize that something was very wrong with me when I was always the last person standing at the bar, or at dinner parties when everybody else had switched to coffee, I was still quaffing wine. Yeah. I realized then that I definitely had a problem, so I decided that I would just go cold turkey, sober, and I did. But what I didn't realize is that could cause what's called the alcohol deprivation effect, where once the honeymoon period of sobriety wears off, you're left with constant physical cravings for alcohol. So think about it. You drive by a liquor store and you're triggered. You want a drink. You walk by a pub and you get angry because you can't go in there and have just one drink. You start isolating from your friends and families because they drink. Developing AUD was an incredibly confusing thing for somebody who admittedly likes to be in control. I was definitely not in control of this at all. In fact, I was swept up in a nearly decade-long battle with something I refer to as the monster. Addiction is a monster, and it affects every ethnicity, social class, race, sex, age. It doesn't matter. You can be the most disciplined person in the world. When it gets you, it has you. It is in control. When I finally realized that I was not in the driver's seat, that the monster was, I sought out every single treatment I could possibly find or afford. I went to rehab for $30,000 to basically drink wheatgrass and do Tai Chi. I went to talk therapy for over 2.5 years for $200 a session. I actually sought out a hypnotherapist who claimed that he had cured a member of the Grateful Dead. That was $400 an hour. I went to 12 different meetings of AA in 2 different countries. I went macrobiotic. I got my chakras realigned. I tried veganism. You name it, I tried it. And I prayed. Okay, I prayed until my knees were black and blue. And I still kept relapsing. Time and time again. I mean, I think that in the years that I was suffering from AUD and really battling it, I probably relapsed close to 20 times. And each relapse became more difficult to recover from. They got worse and worse and worse. And here's the thing. I wasn't drinking because I had a crummy childhood or because I was suffering from any personal trauma. I mean, if you look at it from the outside, I had a great life. I was in my chosen career. I had a beautiful home. I had friends and family who loved me and supported me. I was drinking because I was physically addicted to alcohol. That's it. Once I started, I could not stop drinking. I have addiction on both sides of my family, and the genetic predisposition coupled with engaging in the behavior, which for me is drinking, made me an addict. I knew one thing for sure after trying all of these treatments, and this became very clear. Doing equine therapy or Tai Chi in some swanky, beachfront, expensive rehabilitation facility was not going to fix my biological addiction. By the end of 2008, I had 6 months of sobriety under my belt. And that's when the addict started to talk to me in my head. That's the insidious thing about addiction, is once you have a little bit of sobriety under your belt, you go, hey, I'm not an addict. It whispers to you, go ahead, have a drink. You'll be able to control it, just one drink. So I listened to that idiot in my head. And I went out to dinner that night and I had a glass of wine and I came home and I was so chuffed. Wow, look, the idiot's right. I'm not an addict. I only had 1 glass. Right. Day 2, I had 2 glasses. Day 3, I had 3 glasses, plus I picked up a bottle to bring home and drink on the way home. Day 5, I was in a full-blown binge. I was drinking anything and everything. I would have probably drunk vanilla extract if I had it. When I was finally too ill to drink 1 more drop of alcohol, I did what I always did. Went cold turkey and tried to detox.